Google has a chatbot that can detect some illnesses more accurately than most doctors. Dogs can detect cancer with the help of AI. Apple puts chips in people's brains so that they can control their iPhones with just a thought. And no, I am not making that up. And the first AI doctor has opened a clinic. Welcome to Digital RN. I'm Nurse Marques. Today we're going to talk about how Google's chatbot can diagnose some conditions through a smartphone, how AI and dogs can work together to detect some cancers just by smelling a person's breath and with a very high accuracy. Apple is working with a chip that's similar to Neuralink. There is now an AI doctor diagnosing real human patients. Oh, and they're working on an AI hospital. We're going to talk about how technology is improving nursing education and more. Oh, and there will be a furry baby harp seal. All right, so let's just jump right in. I'm just going to adjust this window like so, and there we go. All right, so first, Google's chatbot can now diagnose from photos. So Google has a chatbot, his name is Amy, and through photos, it can diagnose 26 common skin conditions, and it has a top one diagnostic accuracy of 66%. That means one shot. The first attempt, it gets it right 66% of the time. And is that good? How does that compare to humans? Well, according to this news article, board-certified dermatologists score 63%, and primary health care physicians, 44%, and nurse practitioners, 40%. And so this was a test conducted on nearly 1,000 teledermatology cases with those 26 common skin conditions. And this is still under development. It's not yet available for clinical use. So I think it's really cool that there's like an AI buddy that can help out with routine assessments, like a double check. It needs more studies to confirm its accuracy. And this is limited to images, so it's not going to be able to detect things like fever, texture, things like that. Also, there's a risk of over-reliance and missed diagnoses. So, AI diagnostic tools, they're coming, and they will complement, not replace, human assessors. So, do you think that it is avoidable to, avoid over-reliance on such tools? I mean, just think, if it is as accurate as they say, and if further studies confirm this, if there is a tool that can diagnose significantly more accurately than primary care physicians or nurse practitioners, is there a risk that they may overuse it and become overdependent on it? Curious minds want to know. Leave your comments down below. All right, so next one is SpotitEarly. So SpotitEarly launches in the US to detect cancer using AI and dogs. So basically what this is somebody, so they'll breathe into a mask. So a patient breathes into a mask for 5 minutes, and then they mail it to a lab in New Jersey. And then in New Jersey, then it is sniffed by trained dogs, and there is an AI that monitors the dogs for thousands of physical and behavioral signals. It's 94% effective, and it detects, as we'll see down here, breast cancer, lung cancer, colorectal, and prostate cancer. And apparently one dog can detect 1 million tests per year. I don't know how that works exactly, or they just, I don't know. But that is what I read in a different article. So I think that it is, there's lots, I read multiple articles on this. So I think it's fantastic that there is like a non-invasive way to perform early detection, I think this is going to be beneficial. I think that something like this is going to have a high compliance rate. Think about all the people that should be, but that are not getting like a colonoscopy or getting their prostate checked to detect for cancer. Whereas this is just, hey man, just breathe into this bag for 5 minutes. That's it. We're going to mail it. And, very accurate, 94% accurate. It's quick and easy to scale. It's likely to save money. And I mean, there is some concern for the humane treatment of the dogs, but I'm sure, that is going to be one of their main priorities, is to humanely treat the dogs. So I think this is really cool. All right, so on to the next story. All right, from the Wall Street Journal. I'm just saying, from the Wall Street Journal. You don't think I'm crazy. Apple to support brain implant to control its devices. So they're working with the startup Synchron on a new brain computer that interfaces to assist with people with disabilities. All right, so this doesn't show the full story, but I read this a little bit more elsewhere. But so I believe it works similar to Neuralink. And Neuralink, what that is it's an implant. And as I understand it, when we think, there's like vibrations that happen, like as when we think with our voice, and then it picks it up and then it hears it and translates it, and then an AI makes things happen. So as I understand, if somebody thinks, move the ball to the left, then like a computer screen can move the ball to the left, or a robot can move the ball to the left, etc. So I think something like this will be life-changing for certain people, such as paraplegics. And they are actually using this. Like, this is being trialed right now. And so there are people that are literally like moving icons on the phone, or they're using it with the VR headset. And I just think that's awesome. Just imagine, a paraplegic being able to just do all the things with a phone, or put on a VR headset and just explore and fly and run. I think this could be life-changing for certain people. One concern I have is privacy. So like the AI that's processing this, is it being run locally on the phone, or is Apple sending all of your thoughts to its server? And what if it gets hacked? Is a hacker going to be able to literally read all your thoughts? What do you guys think? All right, so next. Chinese startup trials first AI doctor clinic in Saudi Arabia. But this is relevant for some things that are happening in the US, potentially. So, all right. So what's happening here is they are trialing this program with an AI doctor named Dr. Hua. And basically, it takes in all of this data, some of which is done with the help of some human assistants. And then it is reviewed and signed off by a traditional human doctor without seeing the patients. So yes, a real human doctor gives the green light, but no, a real human doctor never directly interacts with the patient. So, and apparently it has an error rate of less than 0.3%. I'm curious, I did not look up what the error rate of human doctors are that don't use it. Human doctors. Like, you have to differentiate. The world's coming where you're going to have to differentiate between the two. But I would be interested in how this number compares. So when thinking about this, I think it's important that there's a human doctor that is approving everything. I think that's really good. And honestly, I think something like this can really help with the doctor shortage, and cut costs as well. So some concerns I have is, well, malpractice. What if something goes wrong? Who's liable? would they ever try to replace all nurses and doctors in the future? I mean, right now they're testing this. They have a human doctor give the green light, but is there a phase 2? Just thinking ahead. And, you know, domestically, there's something, it's different, but just to let you know, some things that are happening in the US. So K-Health has an AI physician mode, which is now available in the Mayo Clinic platform. And what it can do is it's built right into the EHR. I'll call it EHR, EMR. Summarizes the patient's chart and generates actionable patient insights. So this is in the US. And then the doctor gets a personalized information about the resident right at their fingertips. And also on their website for K-Health, they give examples of without EMR access, answer is highly accurate, but not personalized. And someone asking questions like, I have a cough for 2 weeks, what could it be? And the AI answers very specifically, not just generically, oh, well, like right now, ChatGPT could just give you a million different answers. Whereas this is, hey, Jennifer, a cough that lasts for 2 weeks could be due to various factors based on your medical history, et cetera, et cetera. So it exists. This exists in the US right now. No, I'm not saying it's the other thing, but I just wanted to bring you up to speed and some things that are happening in the US right now. All right. Oh, and according to K-Health, that their AI is giving more optimal results and less risky results than the human counterparts. All right. Next. China launches the world's first AI agent hospital powered by 42 AI doctors. Now, first of all, I'll just say, just straight up, that this is all virtualized, right? But the hospital is run entirely by AI agents. So the doctors are AI, the patients, it's synthetic data, so not real patients, but the AI is capable of diagnosing over 300 diseases. And look, so I mean, they're just, trialing this out right now, but I don't think that they're just doing it for the fun of it. So China's experimenting with this for a reason. So just keep that in mind. I mean, AI doctors and nurses are not going to have the same empathy that a human would. And just be aware that this is a direction that some of the world is headed, and be vigilant about the changes that are happening in health tech so you have a say in what happens. Do I think something like this is going to happen in the US? I mean, no, or just not anytime soon. But as people get used to things and desensitized to things and conversing with AIs and things like that. I mean, right now it's like, talking to an AI is kind of like weird, but I mean, over time, people are going to get used to it, desensitized to it. So just be vigilant. All right. So next story. All right. So this one is about Concern. Concern is an early warning system. And so what it does is so as nurses, we're charting in the EHR, and it's evaluating and looking at all of the nursing charting, and then it's able to predict problematic events. And as it says, it analyzes nurses' data and notes detected when patients in the hospital were deteriorating nearly 2 days earlier than traditional methods and reduced risk of death by over 35%. That sounds really awesome. And it shortened the average hospital stay by more than half a day and led to a 7.5% decrease in sepsis. So that's awesome. 25% more likely to be transferred to the intensive care unit compared to those who had usual care. All right, so some thoughts about this. So this AI, it does rely on consistent, high-quality nursing documentation. Incomplete documentation is going to, hinder this, what do you want to say, double check, this AI that's looking for patterns, things like that. And this 25% more likely to be transferred to an ICU. So what I wonder is what percentages of those that were transferred to the ICU needed to be? Like, did all of them need to be? Or is there a high error percent? Like, is it sending tons of people that don't need to go to the ICU to it? Like, I don't know. That's just a question. Because if it is just sending extra people to the ICU, then that would be overburdening the ICU nurses. And if they have a bigger workload, then that's less time that they have available for the patients that the humans decided needed to be in the ICUs. So yes, I would be very curious if what percentage of this 25% needed to go. Is nearly all of them or half of them, etc. Okay, so next. All right, so some nurses obviously don't like all of this AI. And so this is saying that, so this is an AI that Anna that's able to answer appointments, answer questions, things like that. So this Hippocratic AI can automate time-consuming tasks. So this news article is saying the hospitals have been waiting for the moment when they have something that appears to have enough legitimacy to replace nurses, and is designed to automate, de-skill, and ultimately replace caregivers. I disagree. Things like that will allow nurses to spend more time with patients and will help with burnout. Why not have AI automate some time-consuming tasks? It doesn't seem like it's replacing nurses. It seems like it's freeing up nurses to be able to spend more meaningful time with the patients. All right, next. So with this, there's an AI called VirtueSense Technologies. And what this is actually predicting when a resident is about to fall. So basically there's a camera and there's a LiDAR sensor. So yes, like the thing that police use to detect speeders. And so like it monitors their movements and, things like that. And it can detect, I think it says somewhere like 30 seconds, I thought I read somewhere. Yes, alerting the care team up to 30 seconds before a fall occurs. I think that's really cool. I've used like those clip strips or those, pads where the residents sit on. And so when those go off, I mean, you often don't have 30 seconds. You better be running or that patient might be on the floor. Like they've already have gotten up or they've already moved forward to make that motion. So having something that can detect it earlier is awesome. Also, something that doesn't have to be clipped to their body, I think is awesome. One question I have though is, in one nursing home I worked at, I remember we got rid of, because we used to have like these clip strips, and then we'd record you could record a voice, and you could even record a family member's voice. Like one resident there had their wife saying his name wasn't Bob, I'm just going to make up a name, but please sit down, Bob, like his wife. And he'd be like, he'd try to get up, he'd hear his voice and be like, whoa, and he'd sit down. And I remember the nursing home, they took that away because they were questioning, is that a psychological restraint? Like if they're just trying to get up and they hear like this ominous voice or a friendly, familiar voice telling them to sit down. So I'm not saying it is a psychological restraint. I'm just saying, well, actually, that's a really good discussion. Is it? Next story. All right, so this I really like because this is nurses for nurses. So there's this nurse, Teresa McDonald, and so she has helped create VR and AR for nurses specifically. So this is how AI and VR should be done. It says this is somewhat unusual. Guys, this should not be unusual. Anyone's listening to this that's thinking about implementing it, any administrators out there, this should be rephrased to she did something that should be usual to help with clinical burnout. So a virtual reality-based workplace safety training and using artificial intelligence-powered staffing tools to decrease nursing overtime and improving retention. So what it is VR platform that places clinicians in simulated high-stress scenarios, allowing them to build confidence and memory in safe, repeatable environment. I mean, that's awesome. You know, like you can do drills to simulate, high stress environments, but you can do a lot more using AI and VR than you can having, all the staff get together at 2 p.m. for a quick simulation in the hallway or in a room or something. And so to reduce nurse overtime and improve retention, this forecasts patient demand and recommended dynamic staffing adjustments, gives nurses greater predictability, control in the day-to-day schedules, and retention and job satisfaction. So, and this is the most important part. I mean, this should literally be on top. From the outset, we brought nurses into the design and testing process. So I think that's one of the reasons why this was so successful, is because, again, from the outset, from the beginning, that is where you start. You start with the nurses. Administration, don't start at the top and then make this masterful plan, then come down and tell the nurses, like, we have this new technology, this is how it's going to be. No, start from the nurses, talk to them, listen to their needs, their problems that they would like solved that would increase their, work life, quality of life, patient care, address the nurse's needs, and then you build that up. You're going to have buy-in from everyone, and everyone's going to be on board that way. You come from top down, you'll get resistance, and it just won't be as good. So follow her model. So awesome job, Teresa McDonald. All right, next. So nurse training with AI-powered virtual reality. So this was really exciting to see. Ever since COVID happened, I was really, because during COVID, there were not nursing students, they weren't even able, some nursing students weren't even able to go to clinicals. So they had to find other ways to try to get them to have practical experience. And I really thought then that VR and AI, or AR and AI, would be excellent ways to help resolve this problem. So I've been looking forward to, I really am excited to see things like this personally. All right, so basically, students are able to practice nursing situations in a safe way before they actually go to clinical and, interact with actual human patients. So that's what this is really about. And, I think this is way better than traditional sims, like, mannequins. Like I remember in my nursing school, they had the mannequins, and then the instructor would go like behind this room and talk on a microphone and make the mannequin blink. Or, they have point and click software, but this, you can just do so much more with this. I mean, the sky is the limit. Again, a safe way to get experience before going to clinical. And this will help with the shortage of clinical sites. I know that's one of the barriers to getting nurses through, is that, The bottleneck is a lack of clinical sites, so this could actually help. Now, I'm not saying replace real clinical. I'm saying this would be an excellent supplement to it, and more consistent too. Like, thing about clinicals is that everyone gets a different experience because you never know what you're going to get. But by having a percentage of it in VR, you can guarantee that every student has a consistent, is able to respond to certain scenarios very consistently. Yeah, so last story. All right, so there are AI nurse robots. And all right, so I'm not going to read you this whole thing, but in short, there's these bunch of robots, and they can do things like restock shelves, deliver meds, do patient check-ins, disinfection, things like that. And so that's really cool putting AI in robots because they can just physically do things. And there's one that can help with dementia or Alzheimer's. And it's like kind of like dog therapy, but a robot with AI. And it is a AI robotic furry baby harp seal. And look, I promised at the start, so here you go. So this is like this. Oh, and it's used for like patients such as dementia and Alzheimer's. So here it is, as promised, the AI robotic furry baby harp seal. There you go. All right. Thank you very much for watching this, and please subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.